Hello and welcome. Let us start the fourth lecture on GCOC. In this lecture, we will discuss about the most fascinating aspect of organic chemistry, that is resonance. Resonance in organic chemistry, part 1. This is only about drawing resonance structures of organic molecules and ions. Let me remind you what is resonance according to VBT. According to valence bond theory, if more than one Lewis structures or bond line structures can be drawn for a single molecule or ion, then none represents its true structure. The actual structure is the weighted average or intermediate of all these Lewis structures. In such situations, the Lewis structures will be called the contributing structures or resonance structures. We will shortly write as RS, resonance structures, or canonical structures. Resonance structures are hypothetical, they are not real, they are hypothetical and are drawn by us, by a student, drawn in pen and paper to figure out, to understand what is the actual structure. The actual structure of a molecule or an ion is called the hybrid, resonance hybrid of all these contributing structures or resonance structures. Now, for example, to revise the rudimentary concept in resonance, let me tell you carbonate ion is a hybrid of three equivalent resonance structures. You find the oxygen atoms are numbered 1, 2, 3. In resonance, the atomic skeleton remains unchanged. Only there is electronic distribution in different ways. The number of electron pairs, unpaired electrons, remain the same. But the number of pi bonds, non-bonding electron pairs, that might change. But the total number of electron pairs will remain the same. Or if at all there is an unpaired electron, will remain the same. Atomic skeleton will remain the same. For example, in this structure, double bond O is on oxygen numbered 1. Here the double bond O is on oxygen numbered 2, and in this it is in the towards the oxygen numbered 3. So the actual structure of carbonate ion is neither this nor this nor this. It is a hybrid of all these three, and incidentally these three are equivalent. Means they contribute equally to the hybrid because the structure is symmetrical with respect to central atom. With respect to central carbon atom, all these three are oxygen, and the number of double bonds, single bonds, lone pairs, all same. In this case, these three are called equivalent resonance structures. So they contribute equally. We will discuss about equivalent, non-equivalent RSS later in our second resonance program. Now, in such a situation where the contributors contribute equally, then the charge will be shared also equally and the bond order will also be same. So all these bonds are neither single bond nor double bond. The bond order lies between 1 and 2. So that is why there is a dotted line to indicate a partial bond over a sigma bond. The pi bond is delocalized, spread out, so that the bond order is averaged to the same value 1 point. The net bond order at each bond will be 2 plus 1 plus 1. 4 bonds shared by 3 contributors, so 4 by 3, 1.3333. And the bond lengths are all identical. It is 1.28 angstrom. All these CO bonds. It is neither equal to the double bond C double bond O length, that is about 1.22, and not CO single bond length, it is about 1.32. So it is in between these two single bond and double bond lengths, it is equal. So resonance only can explain this, that the actual structure of carbonate ion is the average or the hybrid of these three contributing structures or resonance structures. These three do not have any real existence. We draw in pen and paper to figure out what could be the actual structure. Similarly, this is an organic molecule, diazomethane. Diazomethane is a hybrid of these two resonance structures, where you find that these two are non-equivalent. Forget about this arrow mark, all these things we shall discuss step by step. So these two are non-equivalent. Unlike the carbonate ion, these two are non-equivalent because the number of double bonds, triple bonds, they are different. Here there is a triple bond, here there is no triple bond. There are two double bonds. And here the carbon is on a the negative charge is on a carbon atom. Here the negative charge is on a nitrogen atom. And the structure is also not symmetrical. With respect to central nitrogen, on one side there is nitrogen, the other side it is carbon. So in such a situation, the two contributors, they are non-equivalent and they contribute unequally to the hybrid. Say, supposing this one is more stable and more contributing, if it contributes 80%, this will contribute 20%. So the actual structure will resemble more to RS2 than to RS1. So all these contributions, stability will be dealt with in our next program, resonance 2. And the hybrid here, it is single bond, here it is double bond. So it is a partial double bond. There is a dotted line over and above the sigma bond. Here NN bond is triple, here NN bond is double. So it is a dotted bond over and above a double bond. So the bond order is between 2 and 3, and in carbon nitrogen the bond order between 1 and 2. But we cannot have the authority to distribute the charge, -1 charge, equally, because the contributions are unequal. Therefore, we will only write partial charge, minus delta, minus delta. This positive charge is not shared, it is static. So that will remain the same, but negative charge has been delocalized. As a result, this -1 charge will be shared unequally between carbon and nitrogen. We will know what will be the contribution of this and this, the rules governing that, later. But you remember that when the structure is unsymmetrical, number of bonds, double bonds, triple bonds, lone pairs, they are unequal, then the contributors are non-equivalent and they contribute unequally, and you cannot separate the charge or distribute the charge equally. You have to write in terms of partial charge, either plus delta or minus delta, as in this case. Now similarly, benzene is a hybrid of these two Kekule structure. These two Kekule structure. So as a result, all the bonds, carbon-carbon bonds, are identical. Neither a single bond nor a double bond. It is in between single and double. That is 1.39 angstrom. Not a double bond, not a single bond, but in between. Because, the average of these two contributing structures is this. These are called Kekule resonance structures. Now, in fact, the pi electron get delocalized. Supposing this is the allyl carbocation. Now there is a pi bond here and a p orbital here which is vacant. This is a vacant p orbital. Vacant. All are sp2 hybridized. So these two orbitals, p orbitals, which were supposed to be localized only between these two carbon atoms, now they are really not localized. They are delocalized, which means that this empty p orbital is not really empty. It is also partially occupied or overlapped or filled by the electron cloud of this p orbital. And this p orbital loses some of its share over this electron because this middle p orbital, it extends to overlap with this vacant p orbital. So this is a delocalized electron cloud, pi electron cloud. We have to write like this. And since the two resonance structures are equivalent, so we have the authority because the terminal carbon atoms are same with respect to the central atom. Number of double bonds, number of positive charge are same. So these two are equivalent and hence contribute equally. So the plus one charge is equally divided between the two charge centers. Similarly, all the p orbitals, each carbon atom in benzene has a non-hybridized p orbital, carries one electron. So all these orbitals, the upper lobes, they combine to form a ring, and the lower lobes, they combine to form a ring. That is the ring resonance, which is very, very typical of aromatic compounds, right? So any p orbital is not only overlapping with this right side adjacent p orbital, but also the left side adjacent p orbital. So they are delocalized. The three double bonds are not localized. Therefore, we represent in pen and paper that benzene is a hybrid of these two resonance structures, and hence the actual structure is the dotted line which represents partial bond over the sigma bond. So the bond order is 1.5. Double, single. At any position you find single, double. So the total number of bonds is 3 contributed by 2 RSS. So the bond order in the average will be 3 by 2, 1.5. Now let us come to organic chemistry. I have deliberately avoided to talk about the arrow marks. Now in a systematic manner we will study. I urge upon you to sit with me along with your paper, copy and pen. Every now and then you have to pause the video and draw. Unless you draw with me, it will be a futile exercise, wasteful activity. So I am for the beginner, even for the revisioner too. So you always continue with me along with your pen and paper. Now this normal arrow mark that represent 2 electron shift. If a bond is breaking, supposing a wrong bond between X and Y is breaking and you are using a normal arrow mark, curved arrow. A normal curved arrow represents 2 electron shift or a heterolytic cleavage, you know from previous videos. And if a fish hook arrow, fish hook arrow, that represents 1 electron shift. That is homolytic cleavage to produce unpaired electrons, radicals. And the resonance structures are separated from each other by a typical single line double-headed arrow mark, not the equilibrium sign. This means that the two isomers or the two compounds are in equilibrium with each other. They are oscillating. This is converting to B, B is converting to A. These are two different structures. Their atomic skeletons are different. Supposing tautomers, the hydrogen now goes from one position to the other position. They are not resonance structures. In resonance structures, the atomic skeleton remains fixed. Only the pi electron gets delocalized. So I used to call that, according to I'll say that I must, at this point of time, I must write down, yes, I will write down very soon that this is not the equilibrium sign. This is equilibrium sign we will not be using, but we will be using this double-headed, single line double-headed arrow mark to separate the resonance structures. Now let us draw the basic rules for, let us know the basic rules for drawing resonance structures. Number one, atomic sigma bond skeleton remains unchanged. As I told you, sigma bond skeleton remains unchanged. Only pi bonds and the non-bonding lone pairs are rearranged in resonance structures. For that, never ever break a single bond. Single bond is a sigma bond. Double bond, there is one sigma, one pi. Triple bond, one sigma, two pi. So you can never break a single bond for drawing different contributing structures. Two, these are the two caution that you have to always adopt. Precaution, never exceed an octet for second row elements, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine belonging to the second period. They cannot accommodate more than 8 electrons in their valence shell. They do not have vacant d orbital. So never exceed an octet for the second row elements, as they have no vacant d orbitals. Now let us take up some examples. Is this one a valid resonance structure of this? No. Why? Because if these two electrons get delocalized to form a double bond, and there is already a lone pair, then nitrogen will be sharing more than 8 electrons. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus the lone pair 2. 10. It's not possible, exceeding octet. So this delocalization while drawing the resonance structure is impossible. Similarly, you cannot break a sigma bond, a single bond. Breaking of a sigma bond or a single bond is not possible. So these two are not, together will not be the resonance structure of this. So you have to avoid, such delocalization where a second row element acquires more than octet, and also you cannot break a single bond. Now before, drawing knowing this, let me just tell you something, that according to MOT, molecular orbital theory, resonance is the delocalization of p electron. P electron may be bonding, maybe pi bonding or non-bonding lone pair electrons in a conjugated system. This is the thing that you have to always remember while this is the thing which you have to always remember while in VBT we talk about Lewis structures. If one molecular ion can be represented by more than one Lewis structures, then none is correct, but the actual structure is the average. But according to MOT, resonance is the delocalization of P, only P. either pi bonding or non-bonding lone pair. Their delocalization in a conjugated system. So to compare with I effect, inductive, while inductive effect works through sigma bond, resonance effect works through pi bond and p non-bonding electron pair. Non-bonding or bonding p, not sigma. P orbitals are involved, not the sigma bond electron withdrawing or electron donating through sigma bond, push and pull, that is I. Resonance, since it is a pi bond delocalization, the electronic displacement takes place for the pi bonds in a conjugated system. So let us know the 4 basic patterns for drawing resonance structures. There will be 4 basic patterns. If you are thorough in that, then you can draw the resonance structures of any organic molecule, however complicated it might be. Now, before we know the 4 patterns, conjugated patterns, the patterns for drawing resonance structures, let me introduce to you what is a conjugated system. What are conjugated systems? Where a resonance occurs, electron delocalization of pi bond or non-bonding p orbit electrons occur. Let me read out. Pi bonding or non-bonding electron pairs, vacant p orbital and orbital containing unpaired electron, p orbital, all p, can conjugate with each other if any of these two or more units are separated from each other by one single bond, that is a sigma bond. Their combination constitutes a conjugated system in which a resonance, that is delocalization of p electrons, operates. I repeat, these are the 4 things. Either it is a pi bond or a p orbital may be vacant or filled. Non-bonding electrons are there in that p orbital, or an unpaired electron or an empty orbital, p orbital, and a pi bonding electron pair. If these 2 or more of these 4 or 5 things I told you, if they are separated from each other by a single sigma bond or one sigma bond or one single bond, then that constitutes a conjugated system where a resonance operates. There can be extended conjugation containing more than 2 conjugating units in a species. I am giving you a few examples of conjugated systems where a resonance operates. Now see, this positive charge means a vacant p orbital, and this is a pi bonding electron pair. So these are the 2 units, conjugating units, separated from each other by one single bond. Here it is an allyl carbanion. This is an allyl carbocation. This is allyl carbanion. Now here this pi bond and this p orbital containing a non-bonding lone pair, electron pair, these are the 2 conjugating units separated from each other by one single bond. If these 2 units are separated from each other by 2 single bonds, they cannot conjugate, they cannot overlap their orbitals, p orbitals at all. Resonance doesn't operate there. Now here, this pi bond and this pi bond, they are separated from each other by one single bond. So it is a conjugated system. So also this pi bond and this non-bonding, one of the non-bonding pairs, they are separated from each other by one single bond. Here, this one of these lone pairs of oxygen and the empty p orbital positive charge, they are also separated from each other by a single bond. Here, an unpaired electron present in a p orbital and a p bonding electron pair, they are separated from each other by a single bond. Here, this is extended conjugation. Now see, a empty p orbital, that is a plus charge, and a pi bond, they are separated from each other by a single bond. And again, these two pi bonds are separated from each other by a single bond. These two pi bonds separated from each other by a single bond. So it is called an extended conjugation. There are 4 conjugating units. One is positive charge, that is an empty p orbital. The other one is a p bonding electron pair. This is another bonding electron pair, pi bonding, another pi bonding. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 conjugating units. And here, this is 1, 2 and 3. Positive charge is 1 conjugating unit. Here 4. This is phenol. This is the benzyl carbocation. This is a neutral phenol, where a neutral compound. It is acidic. But I am talking of, it is not a charged species, it is a neutral substance, a neutral molecule. And one of the lone pairs will be taken as 1 conjugating units. Because this one of the lone pairs and this pi bonding electron pair, they are separated from each other by a single bond. So also these two, so also these two. So there are 4 conjugating units. Out of the 2 lone pairs, only one will be taken. The other is not conjugating, as it will be there in a hybrid orbital, not in a non-hybrid orbital that is parallel. All the conjugating p orbitals, bonding or non-bonding, they must be parallel with each other for a sidewise overlapping. We'll talk about these things again in details later. This is benzaldehyde. So this pi bond, they are separated from each other by a single bond, and so also these 3 pi bonds. This is 2 pi bonds separated from each other by a single bond. This one of the 3 lone pairs in carboxylate ion is separated from this pi bonding electron pair by 1 single bond. So this is 1 conjugating unit and this is pi bond is another conjugating units. So the other 2 are not and these 2 are not. You have to identify which are the conjugating units where the push and pull of the pi bonding system in the p orbitals will take place, and others, if present, will not take part in the push and pull. Electron donating and electron withdrawing through pi bond dancing, delocalization, will only take place between the conjugating units over the sigma bond skeleton. Now this non-bonding electron pair and this pi bond, these are the 2 conjugating units separated from each other by a single bond. And these 2 lone pairs are not counted. Only this pi bond and this lone pair, they are separated from each other by a single bond. So we learned how to identify a conjugated system. To put this in a proper perspective for a student who is beginning organic chemistry in class 11, we have framed 4 basic patterns, conjugating patterns, out of which I will tell you one is not a conjugating pattern, but it is included as a pattern for drawing resonance structures. Let us start one by one. Pattern 1. Ready with your pen and paper? Anytime you want a structure comes, you stop, pause it, write, and then move. Now see, first pattern is called the allylic carbocation pattern. That is a 1 curved arrow pattern. You will be using only 1 curved arrow, normal arrow. 1 curved arrow pattern, allylic carbocation. That is positive charge next to a pi bond, C double bond C. Positive charge next to C double bond C. That is the allylic carbocation. It is a conjugated system, as we have learned. And how to draw, how to convert one RS to the other RS by using 1 arrow mark. Just shift the pi bond to the other position, to the adjacent position, this single bond will become double bond, this double bond will become single bond, and the positive charge will be coming to this place, and this positive charge will be neutralized, right? And since these two, RS1 and RS2, are equivalent RS, they contribute equally to the hybrid, and in the hybrid structure the bonds are neither double bond nor single bond. So I have put a dotted line, and +1 charge is shared between the two terminals equally, because these two are exactly equivalent, containing the same structure, I mean identical structure with respect to the central atom, symmetrical structure, and on both the sides of central atom carbon atoms, the number of double bonds, positive charge, and everything remain the same, but change their positions. So in such case, it is exactly shared equally by the centers in which you have charge. Now there can be extended conjugation in the allylic carbocation pattern. Supposing here this is a plus charge, this we identify this as the allylic carbocation pattern. Then once you draw, you show by a one curve arrow, and positive charge comes here, here there is a double bond, then immediately you are looking at another allylic carbocation system. So you have the third resonance structure. So again you put an arrow mark to delocalize this pi bond to this position, so that this positive charge will go and new positive charge will come here. So there are three conjugating units, 2 pi bonds and 1 positive charge, so you will have 3 resonance structures. So the maximum number of resonance structures, minimum number of resonance structures will be equal to the number of conjugating units. There the number of conjugating units was 2 pi bond and positive charge, so there were 2. Here there are 2 pi bonds and 1 p orbital vacant, so 1, 2, 3, so there are 3 resonance structures. But here we cannot distribute +1 charge equally at the charge centers, because these 3 are not equivalent. Later on we will know that this is a secondary carbocation which is more stable than the primary carbocation. This and this, they are primary carbocations, so they do not contribute equally, they are non-equivalent. So therefore we don't have the authority to write +1/3 +1/3 +1/3. We write plus delta plus delta plus delta. Understood? Now let us go to the second pattern. Now again I have shown you extended conjugation with benzyl carbocation. Here there will be 3 conjugating units, here there will be 4 conjugating units. Now see, this is the benzene ring and this plus, and this is an allylic carbocation pattern. Identify the allyl carbocation pattern here. Don't look at this, only this positive charge adjacent to a double bond. Then you draw, delocalize the pi bond, plus charge comes here. Now immediately you are looking to another allylic carbocation pattern. So again delocalize this so that positive charge migrates to the para position. This is ortho position, this is para position. Again you see another allylic pattern is now at your site. Again delocalize this pi bond to have positive charge on the other ortho position. And then finally, to get back to the benzene ring, you delocalize this pi bond to this, so that the benzene ring is established and the positive charge comes to the outside carbon atom. But this RS is not counted for the resonance structures of benzyl carbocation. Why? Because this is a resonance structure of benzene ring, not benzyl carbocation, right? Only difference is that these pi bonds are in this locations and here the pi bonds are in the alternate locations. But these are the two RSS for benzene ring, not for the benzyl carbocation. So we had 4 conjugating units, a positive charge, and 3 pi bonds. So 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 resonance structures, not the fifth. Fifth is not counted. But I suggest the beginners to always practice drawing resonance structures ending up to the fifth one, restoring the aromatic benzene ring structure. So you pause the video now, draw it with proper one curved arrow mark each time, then start. And the hybrid, you will find this is the actual structure where all the bonds are partial double bond, not single, not double, but partial double bond. The bond order is more than 1, less than 2. And the positive charge is shared between 4 centers. One at the terminal outside carbon, and the others will be the 2 ortho positions, this, and 1 para position. So wherever you find the positive charge in RS, at the same positions you will have fractional positive charge in the actual structure. So boys and girls, viewers, resonance is not a happening. It is already happened. We are studying by writing, drawing the structures. We are trying to conceptualize, to make out what could be the actual structure. So look to the allylic carbocation units for resonance each time. Identify the first allyl carbocation pattern. Then use one curved arrow at a time to get all the RSS. Here the RSS are not equivalent because this carbon is outside, this carbon is inside. So this is a 2 degree and this is a 1 degree carbocation. So their contributions are not same. That is why not 1 by 4, 1 by 4, it is plus delta, plus delta, plus delta. And I have already told you minimum number of resonance structures is equal to total number of conjugating units. Now let us go to pattern 2. Pattern 2 is very important because this is the only case where we do not have a conjugated system. But you have to remember and apply wherever you find such a structure. It is not a conjugated system, but only a pi bond in between atoms differing in electronegativities. 2 different atoms, and there is a double bond or a triple bond, and there is a pi bond. That also will be using one curved arrow pattern. The first 3 patterns are one curved arrow patterns. Now groups like C double bond O, C double bond N, C double bond N, it has been repeated. C triple bond N. This is C triple bond N. S double bond O, N double bond O, etc. can have one more resonance structure, having completely polarized pi bond towards the more electronegative atom. For example, you have a C double bond O in a ketone, simple ketone or aldehyde. So you can draw another RS by polarizing this pi bond towards the more oxygen atom. So in this direction, you convert this to this, and in the opposite direction, you convert this back to this. Understand? Now the actual structure will be a partial double bond with a plus delta charge on this carbon and a minus delta charge on this oxygen. These two are non-equivalent, highly non-equivalent. We shall know why, and therefore we draw. This is not a conjugated system. There is only one unit pi bond, but you have to draw the other one so that you can visualize that the actual structure carries a fractional positive charge on carbon atom to explain its electrophile nature, electrophilicity, that at this position the nucleophile attacks. The lone pair is donated to this position because it is plus delta, right? And in other words, this accepts a lone pair at this position, not at this position. Now, can we draw another one? This is, let us draw it together. You pause now, draw. Now, this lone pair has nothing to do. There is only a pi bond. This lone pair and another conjugating system, there is no another conjugating system. So lone pair has no role to play. Only this pi bond will be polarized, so that the other resonance structure will be, already one lone pair was there, another lone pair will come. The carbon has lost its electron, so plus charge will be here. Nitrogen has gained one electron, so minus charge will be here. So two lone pairs minus one, carbon plus charge. So this is another resonance structure. We will not discuss now which one is more stable and more contributing. That will be done in the next program. Similarly, this is a cyclic trinone, a conjugated trinone. But here, the one curved arrow mark pattern will be applicable. This is not an allylic system, so we apply the one curved arrow mark. This pattern 2. Pattern 2 is pi bond between two different atoms. One, this is carbon, this is oxygen. So after polarizing this pi bond plus minus, we discover there is an allylic pattern, allylic carbocation pattern. So this will come here, plus charge will come here. Then again we discover another allylic pattern, this will come here, plus charge will come here. And again we discover another allylic pattern, the pi bond will come here, plus charge will come here. So it will be a hybrid of several resonance structures I have not drawn. So as a result I have written ... plus. The plus charge will be shared between this place, this place, this place and this place. So instead of plus delta, we can write a ... inside and put a plus charge. Means this plus charge is delocalized at how many centers? 1, 2, 3, 4 centers. So unless we draw the first one by polarizing the pi bond, we cannot draw several resonance structures and say that this one is aromatic. We'll learn about aromaticity later. So let us go to the next pattern, pattern 3. So how many patterns we have learned? One is allyl carbocation, a plus charge adjacent to, next to a double bond. The pi bond and the plus charge will be separated from each other by a single bond. It's allyl carbocation pattern, one curved arrow pattern. The second one is again one curved but not a conjugated pattern. It is only a pi bond between two different atoms. Now the third one is positive charge next to a lone pair or heteroatom. When there is a positive charge, this is a positive charge, just see here, it is a positive charge. This is a plus charge next to a heteroatom having a lone pair. So then this constitutes a conjugated system. This is the MTP orbital is one, and one of the lone pairs is the other, can overlap. And they are separated from each other by one single bond. So you can draw the one of the lone pairs will be delocalized over the sigma bond, so that it will be a double bond neutralizing the plus charge, and a new plus charge is generated on oxygen with one lone pair lessened, decreased. And to convert this into that, the arrow mark has to be given in the opposite direction. This pi bond will be polarized in this direction, so that you get two lone pairs and positive charge will be on this. As a result, the actual structure will be neither a single bond between these two, carbon and oxygen, rather a partial double bond, the plus delta charge shared between the two centers, carbon and oxygen, plus delta, plus delta. We do not know now which one is more stable, so we cannot write plus half, plus half, plus delta, plus delta. This is again one curved arrow pattern. So, in the beginning, the first three are one curved arrow map pattern. Then the fourth one is two curved arrow pattern, two. We have to give simultaneously two arrow marks only to change one RS to the other. In the first three cases, only one curved arrow. In the fourth one, two curved arrows. Right? Let's see that. That is, this is another example, two more examples of pattern 3, that lone pair is adjacent to a positive charge. So this comes here, this becomes a double bond, plus charge migrates to nitrogen. And this is, minus, the plus charge is next to a lone pair. So it comes here, the plus charge vanishes and the minus charge also vanishes. This is, the conversion of this to this is pattern 2. That means a pi bond between two different atoms. So we can convert this into this. To convert this into this is pattern 2. And to convert this into this, that is a positive charge next to a positive charge next to a lone pair, this is pattern 3. So pattern 3 is used to convert this into this. If you are given in your question, draw resonance structure of this. So you draw another one by using pattern 3. If you are given this one, you use pattern 2 to make this bond completely polar with plus minus. And I am not writing in every case the structure of the resonance hybrid where there will be a dotted line between this carbon oxygen and there will be plus delta charge here and minus delta charge here. Writing the hybrid structure is not important at all. The important is to draw the RSS correctly so that you can have an idea where is the conjugated system and where the positive charge is migrated, is delocalized to which places, and what are the positions of the pi bonds and non-bonding electron pair. Now the fourth pattern that we are going to study now is two curved arrow pattern, as I told you. That is a lone pair next to a pi bond. A lone pair next to a pi bond. That is also called the allylic lone pair or allylic-like lone pair. It's not allylic carbocation. Allylic-like or allylic lone pair. That is a lone pair next to a pi bond. Not a positive charge next to a pi bond. Lone pair next to a pi bond. It is a two curved arrow pattern. For example, this is an atom, maybe a carbon, maybe nitrogen, maybe oxygen, whatever. There is a lone pair next to a pi bond. That means this conjugating unit, that is p orbital carrying a non-bonding electron pair, and this pi bond electron pair, they are separated from each other by a single bond. So this is a conjugated system. Out of the four patterns, basic patterns, only one is non-conjugated. The second one. First, third, fourth, they are all conjugated structures. Now similarly, this is allylic-like position where this bond, pi bond, is not between carbon-carbon. It is between carbon-oxygen, carbon-nitrogen, sulfur-oxygen, whatever. Any pi bond, but there is a lone pair adjacent to it. So the lone pair can belong to a neutral atom, this one, or a negatively charged ion. It may be another lone pair, or it is from outside electron, so that it is a minus charge. Doesn't matter. Whether it is a neutral molecule or an anion, doesn't matter. We have to have a lone pair. If there is a carbon-carbon pi bond and there is a lone pair next to it, then it is allylic system. If there is other pi bond like carbon oxygen, carbon nitrogen, nitrogen nitrogen, carbon nitrogen triple bond, and there is a lone pair adjacent to it, then it is allylic like systems. So to convert one RS to the other, we have to use two arrow marks. Now the whistle blower will be the lone pair, not the pi bond. The pi bond will be the second. First, the arrow mark will be drawn from the lone pair to the adjacent sigma bond to make this double bond. This pi bond will be broken to produce a lone pair in this carbon with a negative charge. This is allyl carbanion. This is allyl carbanion. This is allyl carbanion. So you have to use two curved arrows, not one. Allylic carbocation one in this direction. In this direction, because the electron moves, not the positive charge. You know, positive charge automatically gets delocalized, but the arrow mark is not shown over the positive charge, over the electron pair. Similarly, here there is electron pair. So it comes here, this comes here. So there are two continuous curved arrows. To convert this back to this, you give the arrows in opposite direction. This comes here, this comes here. So the actual hybrid structure is neither this nor this. It is the hybrid of these two, and the negative charge is equally shared 1 by 2 and minus 1 by 2 and minus 1 by 2, because these two are equivalent RSS. But in diazomethane that we saw, now you find that this pi bond and this lone pair, these are the two heroes. They are the two conjugating units. You have to identify. This lone pair has no role to play. It doesn't have a conjugating unit with respect to this lone pair. Rather, this lone pair has a conjugating unit. They are separated from each other by a single bond. So you start, the whistling start from the lone pair that comes to the adjacent sigma bond to make it a double bond, and this pi bond will break to form a negative charge here with two lone pairs, and this is a double bond. The negative charge vanishes and the middle plus charge will remain the same because it has not been shared. This nitrogen gains one electron from this side and loses one electron to the other side, so the plus charge remains the same. But the minus charge migrates from carbon to nitrogen. Now we get to pattern 3. We have used pattern 3, two curved arrow pattern to convert 1 to 2. But immediately we find a pattern 2 is applicable. Pi bond between two different atoms. So we applied pattern 2 to polarize the pi bond so that the positive charge is lost, the lone pair is revived, and this carbon gets positive charge. Are you drawing? If not, pause now and draw in your copy. Otherwise, the entire exercise will be futile. Similarly, now this is allyl like. This is allylic, exactly allylic, but this is allyl like pattern, allylic like lone pair pattern, because this is nitrogen pi bond. Here also this is carbon oxygen pi bond, and this can be anything. It can be carbon oxygen. Had it been carbon, then it is exactly allylic pattern, allylic lone pair pattern. But if it is other than carbon, then it is allylic like. So we have to use two curved arrow marks. The whistle blower will be the lone pair, not the pi bond. Come here, pi bond will polarize, so there is a double bond here. I have to make it big. Double bond here, and this becomes single bond. There will be 3 lone pairs instead of 2, and minus charge. Here plus charge, here minus charge, so it is 0. The net charge is 0 because it is a neutral molecule. So the sum of the two charges must be equal to 0. So to convert this into that, we give arrow in the opposite direction, like this comes here, this comes here, so that you convert this to that. And the resonance hybrid will be the intermediate. We can draw that. I am not drawn. It's not important now. So the resonance hybrid, the actual structure, this is the conjugating unit. Only you will draw a dotted line only restricted to the conjugated system, not extended to the part of the molecule which is not taking part in resonance. So the resonance is operating within this. This is the range. So the dotted line will be here. And since it is minus, this will be minus delta. Since this is plus, this will be plus delta. And the lone pairs are not given in the hybrid structure. Only charge. If at all there is charge, you have to give charge. And dotted line to represent a part bonding, partial bonding. Right? But you can argue that in this case, we would have used one curved arrow mark pattern in this portion first, and then we apply pattern 3, pattern 2, then pattern 3 to generate one more structure. Instead of 2 RSS, we could have got 3 RSS like this. First, one curved arrow mark pattern, pattern 2. So to get this one, this is polarized plus minus. Then pattern 3, lone pair next to a positive charge, or positive charge next to a lone pair. So this is a conjugated system. So this comes here. So there is a double bond here, and the plus charge comes to oxygen. So there can be 3. But I have recommended in allyl or allyl-like system, don't use 3 RSS. Because the middle one, this one, if you use the pattern 2, then this is very less stable and less contributing. Later on we will know that. So there is no point in writing. So it is customary that in allyl and allyl-like systems also you use 2 curved arrow mark pattern rather than 2 successive 1 curved arrow mark patterns. You can do. Logically you are correct if you go for 1 arrow mark pattern, 1 curved arrow mark pattern, and then another 1 curved arrow mark pattern to get 3 RSS. It is better. Therefore, I told you the minimum number of RSS should be equal to the number of conjugating units. There are 2 conjugating units, so the minimum number is 2. But maximum number here is coming 3 because you are applying 1 curved arrow mark pattern at a time. Right? So 4 patterns we have discussed. We are at the end of our program. 4 patterns have been discussed. Shall we revise? Tell me. Number 1, allylic carbocation. Allylic carbocation, that is a plus charge next to a pi bond. That is 1 curved arrow mark. Pi bond will be delocalized, not the positive charge. Positive charge will automatically migrate it, but the arrow mark will be shown from the pi bond ending with a sigma bond, so that single bond becomes double bond, the double bond becomes single bond. Allylic carbocation. The second one was not a conjugated system. Pi bond between 2 different atoms. The 1 curved arrow mark pattern to make it polar. Third one, a positive charge next to a lone pair or a heteroatom. It's a conjugated system. Positive charge next to a heteroatom having a lone pair. And the fourth one is 2 curved arrow pattern. Allylic lone pair or allylic-like lone pair. A lone pair next to a pi bond. If it is a carbon-carbon pi bond, it is allylic pattern. If it is other than carbon-carbon pi bond, then it is allylic-like pattern. So customarily, and I suggest that you go for a 2 curved arrow pattern to get the required number of RSS. That means 2 RSS instead of 3. Then benzene resonance. Aromatic ring, 6-membered aromatic ring resonance need 3 curved arrows, not 2 or 1. So they need at a time 3 curved arrow marks. This will come here, this will come here, this will come here, so that the pi bonds will be alternated. Sigma bonds and pi bonds, they will be single bond and double bond, they will be alternated, so that you get the actual hybrid structure. So also pyridine. In pyridine, the lone pair, the non-bonding lone pair is not counted for conjugation. This lone pair, is not counted. It's not taking part in conjugation. These are 3 units. So just like benzene, you have this. Of course, this is not the correct one, because we will also take into account the other contributors. Later on we shall know that, but not now. So we will just treat it like benzene, and this is benzene pattern, 3 curved arrow pattern, benzene pattern, only applicable for 6-membered aromatic ring. And you know that resonance theory fails to explain the stability of the aromatic benzene systems, right? It is clearly explained by MOT, molecular orbital theory. Then similar patterns, very, very similar patterns. 4 patterns are really important. Benzene pattern. Then other patterns are similar. For example, allylic free radical. It is simply allylic carbocation pattern, because this is 7 electrons, radicals, that's electron deficient. So pi bond will whistle, not the unpaired electron will be whistling. So one of the electrons, this is a Fish-Hook arrow. The only difference was between allyl carbocation and allyl radical, that there was a normal arrow, one arrow. This is also one arrow, but Fish-Hook arrow. So that a radical comes, unpaired electron comes here, and this one dot and one dot, they form a pi bond. And to convert this into that, you sew in the opposite direction. Similarly, 2 or more conjugated double bonds or double bond with a triple bond, no heteroatom. It is a conjugated polyene or ene-wine. Conjugated polyene or ene-wine. So you have to use here 2 curved aromatic patterns. Since you are taking butadiene, which is very symmetrical, no heteroatom, so you have to write all possibilities. You know, if you take the red one, this pi bond will come here and this pi bond will go there. So it becomes positive here and negative here. And it can also go in the opposite direction. This pi bond will come here, this pi bond will come here. So double bond will come to the middle like this one. But the positive charge will be here and the negative charge will be here. And also there can be one electron shift, so that one unpaired electron remains here, another unpaired electron remains here, this one, the green one, and the red one going in the right direction, the blue one going in the left direction. So that we have so many 1, 2, 3, 4 resonance structures, and the actual structure is the hybrid of all these 4, so that all the bonds get averaged. The actual structure of butadiene we can write like this, where you have no charge, because everywhere, you know, plus, here it is +1, there it is -1. This is -1, this is +1. This is +1, this is -1. So there is no charge, but there is a delocalization. Not that the 2 double bonds are localized, but here also there is a partial double bond here. The actual structure, there is also a partial double bond between these 2, and the double bond is reduced, the bond order is reduced from 2, and also here the bond order is reduced from 2, bond order is increased from 1, so it is the average structure. But in polyenes, the the stability of these conjugated polyenes and aromatic rings are best understood by MOT. And the other similar, I'm showing you an extended conjugation, that is a beta carotene. That compound is present in carrot. There are how many double bonds? Conjugated double bonds, 11 conjugated double bonds. Any conjugating units are separated by one single bond. If these two double bonds are separated by two single bonds, then they cannot conjugate. They cannot overlap. That is non-conjugated system, isolated double bonds. But if the pi bonds are separated by one single bond, then they will conjugate, they will delocalize, they will push and pull, and that brings out the delocalization of pi electron system. And there are 11 conjugated double bonds. Double bond, double bond, double bond, all separated between each other by one single bond. I have not drawn the, so many resonance structures. But here I have tried to draw, I have definitely tried to draw the resonance structure between a double bond and a triple bond. Now, since triple bond is more electronegative, this is sp hybridized, so this will attract. So the pi bond will come here and this pi bond will go there. So plus charge will be here and negative charge will be here along with a lone pair. Similarly, there are two double bonds and one triple bond. They are all conjugating with each other. The two adjacent conjugating units are separated by one single bond. Therefore, you can draw two curved arrow mark. For this, two curved arrow mark patterns. So this plus, this becomes minus charge and this becomes plus charge. The moment there is a plus charge here, you discover another allylic carbocation. So this comes here, so plus charge is here. So there are three conjugating units here, 1, 1, 1. So there will be 3 minimum resonance structures. You just try. And the third similar one is conjugated aldehydes and ketones. Conjugated, this is a carbonyl group and this is alpha position, this is beta position, there is another pi bond. So this carbon-carbon pi bond, this carbon-oxygen pi bond, these are the two conjugating units separated from each other by one single bond. So you have two possibilities. One possibility is according to rule. First you have to look for one curved arrow mark pattern. And then, so this is pattern 2. So to get plus minus. Then you discover an allylic carbocation pattern 1. So plus charge is here. So you get 3 resonance structures. So that in the hybrid, so the conjugated system starts from here, ends at oxygen. This. So you give a dotted line over the conjugated system, not extending towards this or that. The electron delocalization, the pi electron delocalization has happened between these 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this has come here, this has come there. That is why the dotted line will be only extended up to this conjugated system, and plus was here, so there will be plus delta here, and minus was here, so minus delta here. But sometimes we skip. We use 2 curved arrow patterns and skip the middle one. This is wrong actually. Why? If you do so, you cannot give plus delta in the hybrid. The electrophilicity of this carbon cannot be explained. Often we miss out, we apply just like a allylic pattern, we use 2 curved arrow mark patterns, we bring this delocalize to this sigma bond and delocalize this pi bond, so that plus here and minus there, just like this and this, bypassing the middle one. This pattern is often used in the literature, in the book. You find that this middle one is not used. Pattern 2 is not used. But it should be used. It should be used. But if you ignore it, it's well and good, but should not. So that if you restrict the RSS to only 2, then you cannot give plus delta on this carbon. Only plus delta here and minus delta here. No plus delta will be given on the carbonyl carbon. But yes, this carbon is also electrophilic. Of course, this carbon is electrophilic, but this carbon is also electrophilic. How can you justify that? Now, extended conjugation in benzylic carbocation, benzylic carbanion, benzylic free radical, same. This benzylic carbocation we have already done before. The same thing happens to benzyl radical, free radical. So it's a peace hook arrow, one electron shifts, this electron comes, there is a double bond here, and this carbon, the ortho position, you have an unpaired electron. Again, allylic radical. This is exactly like allylic carbocation, I have told you. Again, one electron shift, the unpaired electron comes here. Again, one electron shift, the unpaired electron comes here. Double bond comes here. Again, one electron shift back to pavilion, but this is not counted for the resonance structure because this is the resonance structure of benzene. So only 4. There are 4 conjugating units, one unpaired electron on the p orbital, and these 2 p bonds, pi bonds. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4, this 4. This is not counted. Similarly, benzyl carbanion. This is the allylic lone pair pattern, 2 curved aromatic patterns every time. So you first start from this lone pair is the whistleblower comes here. This pi bond comes to the ortho position. Now another allylic lone pair is readily visible. So again 2 curved aromers. Lone pair comes here, negative charge. Again another allylic lone pair comes here and back to pavilion. So this is not counted. So the hybrid will have minus delta charge on both the ortho positions and para position and also the outside carbon. You have extended conjugation in phenol and nitrobenzene. In phenol, which is neutral, this is an allylic pattern, allylic lone pair. This lone pair, this pi bond, they are separated by a single bond. So the whistle will be blown by this lone pair. Comes here, this comes here. 2 curved patterns. So the negative charge and lone pair comes to the ortho position. Again another allylic lone pair, pattern 4 is visible. Then apply pattern 4 to get the lone pair again here. Another pattern 4 is visible. Again apply 2 curved arrow patterns and it comes here. Then back to pavilion. I have not deliberately not drawn the 5th one. So I have shown the aroma, it comes here, this pi bond breaks. So the original phenol aromatic structure is restored. And in the hybrid, all the 2 ortho and the para gets minus delta and oxygen gets plus delta. Because it is having plus in the RSS, in actual structure it will be plus delta. And in ortho para it will be minus minus minus. So minus delta minus delta minus delta. Similarly, in aldehyde, supposing benzaldehyde, there is a conjugated carbonyl compound. And I told you, I advised you, you can miss out the middle one. You can use 2 curved aromatic patterns, but which is really wrong. And so when you use 2 curved aromatic patterns, then you get this. You bypass this. You should have done the 1 curved aromatic pattern. I have not, for that this has to be dropped, only 1, so that this is polarized. Double bond becomes single bond. I am so sorry. There is a wrong. Should be a single bond. And then allylic carbocation pattern. It comes here. Then again another allylic carbocation pattern. Pattern 1. And allylic carbocation pattern. Pattern 1. And then back to pavilion. This comes here. 3. This comes here. This comes here. 2 arrow marks, so that you get back the original aromatic structure. I have not shown deliberately. So you usually in almost all the books you will not find this one. But in my opinion, you should show this one, because the electrophilicity of benzaldehyde aldehyde group is there, plus delta character is there. But normally we skip, we use 2 curved aromatic patterns for this conjugated carbonyl compound and then follow the 1 aromatic pattern, pattern 1 allylic carbocation, to draw the other ones. And in the hybrid, the ortho para positions will carry positive plus delta because it is plus plus plus, and the oxygen will carry minus delta. Okay. Now towards the end, this is para nitroaniline C. You draw not only C. Seeing is doing nothing. Of course doing something. But writing, practicing is everything. Now see, this nitrogen, I'm sorry. This nitrogen lone pair and this pi bond, whether you give the alternate pi bonds in the opposite direction, this, or this, doesn't matter. Here you move in a clockwise direction. If the double bond would have been given here, then the arrow marks would have been in the anti-clockwise direction. Doesn't matter, same thing. Now you discover an allylic pattern, lone pair next to a pi bond. You attack that. I mean, attack means, you give that and convert this to this. Nitrogen gets plus charge and this carbon, the ortho carbon, gets a lone pair with a negative charge. Again, another allylic lone pair is visible. So again, 2 curved arrow mark pattern 4 to get a lone pair here. And again you find another allylic like pattern, lone pair next to a pi bond. So also give 2 curved arrow marks to get this additional RS. So that double bond here, single bond here with a minus charge. And then you can come back to this one by discovering this as an allylic like pattern. This you come to this and take the lone pair, take the pi bonding pair to this position, pi bond electron pair to this para carbon, to again get back the same structure. So instead of that, to avoid repetition, I have used 3 curved arrow marks. Deliberately, this comes here, and this comes here, so that the negative charge and lone pair comes to the other ortho position. I could have, got back the same old one by using an allylic pattern and again allylic pattern to this one. But I skipped that, used 3 arrow mark. I assure you, with a bit of experience and practice, you can also do that. You can avoid a repetition by using 3 curved arrow marks. So that, and then back to pavilion, this will come, allylic pattern, this will come here, this pi bond will go, and you get back the original structure. Of course, the double bond, single bond get exchanged. That is the RS for benzene. Now what happens in the hybrid? There are 5 RSs instead of 4, because there are 5 conjugating units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the partial negative charge will be at the 2 ortho position and para position, as well as on this oxygen. This plus minus is a dative bond, the coordinate bond that will remain all through. But this oxygen had no charge in the original structure, but is actually having minus delta. And the all the 3 positions, 2 ortho and para, minus delta, and nitrogen will have plus delta. Got it? But let me tell you, had the nitro group been located in the meta position, then you would not have got the extra additional RS. The lone pair would have been bypassed that position, this position. Are you getting a lone pair coming to any time in the meta position? No, it is here, here, here. So if nitro group is only at this position, then it is not possible for the nitro group to participate in resonance. Only in the ortho and para position where the lone pair is going, there the nitro group can further participate in delocalization by resonance. So to conclude, first look for 1 curved arrow pattern. This is rule. Look to a structure means you look to 1 curved arrow mark. Wherever 1 curved arrow mark pattern can be applied. Pattern 1, 2, 3. If present, then draw the RS. Then proceed and discover if any other 1 curved arrow mark pattern you are getting is visible to you. Then follow that. If there is extended conjugation, you continue to follow 1 curved arrow mark patterns. Pattern 1, 2, 3. But if you do not find 1 arrow mark patterns, pattern 1, 2 and 3 are not found, then go for two arrow patterns, that is allylic lone pair patterns. And benzene ring pattern is self-explanatory. It is obvious. Now, we conclude this session. It is growing very, very long. And in the next session, we will be practicing a lot of questions, drawing RSS. I will be doing the alternate ones. I have so many. I show you, you'll be really tempted that I have brought so many structures for practice. So many structures for practice. We will be practicing together. I will not be practicing. I will be drawing and you practice with pause and open. And the alternate ones I will be doing, and the other alternate ones you will be doing, and tally with the answers I will be providing. Right? So many. So many conjugating patterns, so many neutral molecules and ionic structures I've given to draw the RSS. So many. Endless. Yes, up to this. So we close today's session, and this session, not today's session, this session. And as usual, if you are following, and I'm very happy, come to the end, I'm very happy. Fruitfully utilize your time, draw the RSS, and wait for my next video where I will be supplementing this particular part 4, lecture 4 in drawing the RSS. I could not complete in time, so therefore I have to go for another one. Bye. Bye-bye.